Hello and welcome to the album man. As you can see, we're getting a bit more festive over here with this nice sparkling Christmas tree. You know, why not? I didn't even know it still works, but there you go, it does. So, yeah, weekly rock news, and coming up on today's episode, we have Dylan guitar sells for $1 million. We have Bob Dylan accused of being racist. And then we also have the 2014 Grammy nominees. Hello and welcome to the... And today we are... Go die, bitch. Okay, so not much happening on this episode, but you know, it's been a bit slow recently for news, but I thought, you know, let's get back into it. So, of course, a couple of Dylan-related news stories to talk about, and this is, of course, the first one, that the infamous Bob Dylan guitar, the electric guitar, that he played at the Newport Folk Festival in 1965, has just sold for close to $1 million. Which, yeah, it's the highest price ever paid for a guitar at auction, the Fender Stratocaster, of course. And yeah, I mean, it's a pretty big deal, that guitar. I mean, the 1965 Newport Folk Festival was, of course, a turning point in Bob Dylan's career when he plugged in and sung like a Rolling Stone. And in that moment, he really abandoned the folk scene. And yeah, it caused a lot of controversy. Of course, the tour and surrounding it, where he was accused, like the famous bootleg live at the Royal Albert Hall, which was actually at the Manchester Free Trade Hall, where somebody shouts Judas, very famously. And Bob Dylan just responds, "You're a liar, I don't believe you," and then tells the band, just says, "Play it fucking loud." And they play probably the best version, one of the best versions of Like a Rolling Stone ever recorded, in my humble opinion. So yeah, I mean, that's a big deal. Like, I'd certainly love to own it. And weirdly, how it was acquired by someone for auction. It was put up for auction by Dawn Peterson, whose father, Vic Quinto, was a pilot on the private plane that chartered Dylan in 1965. And, well, he left the instrument on the plane, Mr. Dylan did, yes. And they found out, some guitar historians and research experts, that this was the same guitar he used at that folk festival. So, yeah, that is pretty bloody cool. A huge part of rock history, and yeah, I'm pretty jelly of that guy, I have to say. Okay, another Bob Dylan related news story. We all like a bit of Dylan here, and if you don't, well... oh wow, you know. So this is odd as hell. Okay. So the organisation that released a lawsuit against him is the Croatians Living in France organisation. Now, that is probably the nichest organisation on the planet. The Croatians who live in France. I don't think that's a hugely big community, but okay. I'm sure it probably stems from the Serbian-Croatian War, people seeking refuge, I'd imagine. But still, it doesn't strike me as the biggest, percentage of people in France are really Croatian. But yes, they're taking legal action against Rolling Stone magazine. And it's about inciting discrimination. You see, in this interview for Rolling Stone magazine in 2012, supporting his Tempest album, which is absolutely wonderful, he was making a bit of a reference of, the War of Independence from Yugoslavia, fought between Croatian and Serbian forces in the 90s. And he said, if you've got a slave master Ku Klux Klan in your blood, blacks can sense that. That stuff lingers to this day, just like Jews can sense Nazi blood and the Serbs can sense Croatian blood. And actually, if you take it in the full context of the interview, because I've read the entire interview, and he's actually talking about, well, how racism is a problem and how he is annoyed at sort of the segregation between blacks and whites in the US. And I mean, there's not full segregation, there's hardly bloody apartheid, is it? But yeah, I mean, he was actually, explaining how he hates the fact that really there's, any race dividers and that judging people by the colour of skin. He basically, says it's pretty stupid. I wouldn't really say it's inciting hate or discrimination, but these Croatians living in France claim a spokesperson said, "We have nothing against Rolling Stone or Bob Dylan, but you cannot equate Croatian war criminals with all Croats." And while it's true that, of course, not all Croats were war criminals, it's a very justified, it's a very generalised statement, of course. But, I mean, there certainly were a lot of atrocities that went on in the Serbo-Croat War. I mean, there's no doubt about that on both sides. It's pretty damn appalling what each side did, with possibly the Serbians going that extra bit, but still both reprehensible. Now, of course, it wasn't all Croats involved, and I really don't think Bob Dylan was trying to ensue or incite anything with that comment. He was just in a bloody interview. He wasn't making it a statement. He wasn't, giving a speech. It was just an interview in Rolling Stone. Not everything everyone says is necessarily perfect. I honestly don't believe, that he's a racist villain. I mean, this is, bear in mind, Bob Dylan, played at Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech. Okay, he played, a couple of songs at that. Okay, one of the, most important anti-racism events in history. So, I don't think he's that much of a racist. No. I think these Croatians living in France should really just, stop worrying about, crap. I don't think anyone's gonna believe after reading that interview, "Oh yeah, all Croats are war criminals, bloody hate the Croats." Unless you're a bloody moron. If you're that much of a moron, I really doubt you listen to Bob Dylan. You probably listen to Bastille or, bloody shit like that. Okay, the last story we have to talk about is the Grammys, because the Grammys, that's just so relevant. Everyone here loves the Grammys. You love the Grammys. I love the Grammys. Everyone thinks, the Grammys, they're perfect. 100% perfect. They've never, ever made a mistake. They've never, ever given out awards to people who don't deserve it. I mean, just a truly flawless institution. Again, just like the Oscars, these flawless institutions whose awards are just so important. No, I hope you detected the sarcasm there. Otherwise, well, then yeah, you're a poor human being. So let's take a look at some of the main categories, and I've got controversy for delivering my opinions on awards before with I've Gone Gods, but I thought we'd delve back into the Grammys. It's just a slow news week. So, best rock performance. We're only going to look at a few of these. Always Alright, Alabama Shakes. The Stars Out Tonight, David Bowie. Radioactive, Imagine Dragons. Kashmir Live, Led Zeppelin. My God Is the Sun, Queens of the Stone Age. And I'm Shaking, Jack White. Okay, we'll go through these. It's not going to take long. Always Alright, Alabama Shakes. It's alright. I don't have much to say about that. Radioactive by Imagine Dragons. Is this really a rock song? Because I was under the impression it was a pop song, because I've heard it, and it doesn't sound like a rock song to me. It's like, it's as much as a rock song, I suppose, as maybe, I don't know, like a single from Nickelback's Here and Now. Radioactive's a pop song. If you want to put it in best pop performance, you go do that, Grammys. But don't put it in best rock performance. Don't put it next to, I don't know, The Stars Are Out Tonight by Bowie. Obviously, that's the song I want to win. I've said many times before, I adored Bowie's Next Day. I honestly think it's one of his best albums, if not his best album since 79, I think, or 80, Scary Monsters and Super Creeps. I genuinely do. I think it's far better than Reality or some of the, 90s stuff, or the 80s stuff, which, oh God, oh dear God, Let's Dance. Kashmir, the thing is, okay, do I love Kashmir? Hell yes. Do I love Led Zeppelin? Hell yes. You see, I think best rock performance should be for new songs. Is Kashmir really a new song? Let me think. Was Kashmir released in 2012 or 2013? No. Just a live version. And of course, the Celebration Day pack. And well, yes, I've heard the version of Kashmir. It's a fantastic version. It really is. I like the version. But it's, it shouldn't be nominated for a Grammy. I'm sorry, maybe Best Live Performance, if there's a category for that, I'm not sure. Yes, but not Best Rock Performance. My God Is the Sun, Queens of the Stone Age, really good song. It's not half as good as I Appear Missing. I mean, well, not half as good, but I Appear Missing's better. I'm Shaking Jack White. I certainly wouldn't begrudge Jack White if you want it. I love the White Stripes, but I really didn't think Blunderbuss was that good. We'll just take a look at 2 more categories. There's also Best Rock Song as well as Best Rock Performance, which I only just discovered now, because that makes sense. Bloody message. I assumed that, you know, Best Rock Song and Performance, because I suppose Performance can incorporate live stuff then, like Zeppelin, but really I don't think a song that old should be winning a Grammy. No offence, you know, I love Kashmir. Best Rock Album. 13 by Black Sabbath, Next Day by Bowie, Mechanical Bull by Kings of Leon, Celebration Day by Led Zeppelin, Like Clockwork by Queens of the Stone Age, Psychedelic Pill by Neil Young and Crazy Horses. In general, except for Kings of Leon, because, oh my god, Kings of Leon, oh, they're insufferable, what they really are. Oh my god, I remember I used to quite like, you know, a couple of their songs. You know, Sex on Fire it was good at the time, but it got a bit played to death. It had a neighbour who would, they'd sort of play it almost every single day, really loudly, so we could hear it through the walls. I got a bit sick of it after about 2 months straight of hearing it almost every day. The other nominations, yeah, you know, Celebration Day, I don't count, personally, I don't count live albums in, for example, in my top 25 albums of the year list, you'll see no live albums. I count live albums as a separate entity, and I would say Best Rock Album should be a studio album, but that's my opinion. Obviously, I would say Black Sabbath or Bowie, either of them could win and I'd be happy. Neil Young, Crazy Horse, I don't particularly like Neil Young, I hate his voice, but I certainly respect the guy, so if he wins, that's pretty cool. And last category we'll take a little look at, Best Metal Performance. Oh, this is always fun. And Megadeth aren't nominated. I think this is the first time in about a million years where they haven't been nominated. Not that they've ever won, but they're always usually nominated. Even the Grammys didn't like Super Collider, goddamn. TNT, Anthrax. God is Dead, Black Sabbath, The Enemy Inside, Dream Theater, In Due Time, Kill Switch Engage, and Room 24, Volbeat featuring King Diamond. So there's one except, I think Black Sabbath, God is Dead, hell yeah. Enemy Inside, hell yeah. In Due Time, I don't particularly like Kill Switch Engage, but for what they do, for their brand of metalcore, they are very, very good at it. Definitely one of the best metalcore bands around, but it's just not a genre. I wouldn't listen to Kill Switch Engage, but you know, if they win, that's pretty cool, to be honest. Room 24, really love this song, fantastic Volbeat song. TNT, now I love my Anthrax. Oh yeah, well, you know, Anthrax, you know, Among the Living, one of the best thrash albums ever. Their EP was not, however. Their covers EP was... their version of TNT is so similar to the AC/DC version. It's just pointless. That's my problem with Anthrax covers album. I express my opinions if you want to see it on my channel somewhere. It was just so, like, AC/DC's amazing version, well, the original bloody version, that there was no point in listening to it. It's like, I may as well be listening to the original version because, on high voltage, because it's better. They didn't do anything different with it. Why it's nominated, I don't know. Clearly, the Grammys couldn't think of any better metal bands, which is a load of crap because there's been loads of great metal released this year, but the Grammys don't give a shit because, you know, they're Grammys. I mean, who really gives a damn about this bloody thing? We're not even going to look at Best Rock Songs. It has Muse's Panic Station. And you know, probably, how much I don't like the Second Law. I love Muse, I really do, but Second Law, it infuriates me, nearly as much as Matt Bellamy's comment about how dubstep would be the new metal. A bit of a reference to one of my more controversial videos. But yeah, this has been Weekly Rock News with a nice, sparkling Christmas tree, which I hope you liked, you know, it's nice. That was creepy. But yeah, this has been TheAIbumMan. Thanks for watching, comment, subscribe, and as usual, long live rock and roll.